everyone, it is the day after the reading rush and I actually completed reading 8 books, which really surprised me because during, I think it was day 5, Mom and I took off to do some errands and I basically spent the whole day away from home and I didn't get any reading done until I came back late that night. So I went ahead and basically I finished this, which was my book for something that I would want to read more of, and this was more of like a reference book or a guidebook to a place that I would like to visit one day. This is in Edinburgh, so Scotland. And like I had said before, I would have rather this book been about specific places and then strange stories after it. But it was just kind of like a jumbly mess and I couldn't quite figure out how they were organizing it because some of their organizational categories bled into other ones and then they would pop up in another chapter. So I gave that a 3 out of 5 stars just because of the organization of it. And yeah, I would love another book like that, but just organized in a different way and more about places to actually visit there. The book that I read to cover, well, before I did that, I went ahead and finished A Litter of Bones, and you guys knew I was in the process of that. I was listening to A Litter of Bones on Audible. It was pretty good, and like I had said in the last vlog, there were some violent scenes about an animal that I did not appreciate. I mean, it was more than one scene, so I mean, I could have done without so many, so I didn't quite enjoy it as much, and the ending was a little bit predictable, so this one ended up being a 3-star for me as well. But this was the one that I was using to take place in a different continent as me. I am in the North American continent and this is in the European continent. It also happens to take place in Scotland. So there's that one. And then I started panicking because it was already, I believe, day 7, which is the last day of the reading rush. And I was like, I still need to read a book that has the same, or that has the color of a cover that's the same color as my birthstone. And that birthstone that I have is amethyst. So I needed something that was purple in color. So I started listening to a story called Beyond the Strange. Okay, so correction, I just went ahead and looked it up on Audible, and it's called Beyond Strange Lands. And basically it was kind of like a old school radio drama broadcast. And Beyond Strange Lands was about a family, a boy and his mother, who went in search of their grandmother, who also went missing when she was in search of her husband, who disappeared on an investigation for his show. I think it was called Strange Lands. And this takes place in Australia. So it was really cool because there were some audio recordings of his show and what he was experiencing. So if you like those kinds of shows that have mystical or like ghost sort of adventures, that's kind of what his show was about, is finding something that was beyond belief and proving its existence. And strange things happened to these people and certain things kept recurring and it was just fantastic. I actually saw a lot of negative reviews for this book on Audible, and while I agree that some of the audio wasn't up to par, like some people sounded like they were far away from the microphone and some of it was a little hard to hear, it was still a very enjoyable experience. And I really thought the story was done very well. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the score of the story. And what was really cool is that there were purple rocks in this story. And being an amethyst girl, purple rocks, perfect. Especially for that challenge on our reading rush. Okay. Let me pause this and stop my dogs real quick. Alright, sorry guys, I had to stop them. For a book that was based on a movie that I watched, I went ahead and picked up the Audible book, John Dies in the End, and I listened to this on double speed because I was running out of time. And to be honest, listening to this story on double speed was pretty good because it was frantic and all over the place. John dies at the end. How can I explain this? There's a lot of sci-fi going on here. And to be honest, I really enjoyed the movie better than the book, but the book was still very interesting to me. Basically, two boys are encountering a strange man, and he provides one of the boys with a sort of drug that causes some interdimensional travel and beings to occur in their world. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If you've seen the movie, you kind of know what it's about. And honestly, the movie adaptation of the book was done fantastically. I still got the same sort of vibe, and it wasn't dragged on. Some of the book I felt was a little dragged on, but I saw there were 2 more books in the series. I might pick it up, but when I'm in the right mood for that kind of sci-fi, interdimensional, all over the place kind of story. Okay, the book that I read outside, it had to be something short because it's hot out here where I live, and yeah, I wanted to be in the cool air. So I picked up something from my shelf that I've been really wanting to read for a very long time, and that was Nightmare Soup, and that's volume 1, and Nightmare Soup, the sketchbook. Now, these are anthologies, and the artwork is just fantastic. You guys can kind of see it's very reminiscent of a certain book from our childhood. If you guys know what that book is, comment down below. But the stories in here are fantastic. They're short, they're engaging, and I can't wait to pick up the 2nd volume in Nightmare Soup. And like I said, the illustrations are just everything. Okay, so I completed it. I read 8 books. I'm counting this as the 8th book. It's very short, I know, but I still completed it. I was very proud of myself for only basically getting to read a couple of days during the reading rush. I thought it was really fun. I hope to participate a little bit more on Instagram next year and maybe do daily vlogs next year. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.